Okay, so we already started. We forgot to press the record button, but like we said, we talking about ride or die chicks today. And
so, what the question you just asked? What do people think about?
What do people think about being a ride or die? What's your own definition? Do you feel like how Pierre Javon said, ride or die is basically a hood context word that has been taken into the general public that gets confused, tangled, misconstrued, and people start being ride or die chicks, just like people wanted to be track queen. You know what I'm saying? Just like when track queen came out. You real life had girls that wanted them a trap dude so they can go sit in the bando with them and be the trap queen. I'm in the trap with bae, whatever. So then you got the ride or die chicks that's going taking hits for men, going down, getting locked up. They might not be dying, but literally your life is dead. If you take the bid for your dude, your life is dead. So you really ride or dying in some sense. Even if you sticking around for a man that's a dog to you, you're dying inside still, and you wasting your time. So at the end of the day, no matter how much the word can get mixed up, it really makes a lot of sense when people say ride or die, because you might not be dying literally. I mean physically, but literally you are.
So before I read this comment, I want to ask the guys: is ride or die a term you would use for a girl? Would you want to use it for a girl? Saying you using it and not abusing it. Is that something that you would use or what? But I had a comment from on Facebook that said they don't like the term. It's misinterpreted and manipulative. I don't want my woman to ride or die. If I'm wrong, I want someone to straighten me, keep me accountable all the time, not just when it's cool with me. If I make her feel like she needs to stay through BS, then I'm forcing her to settle, and only a weak woman will do that.
And I understand. I don't think. And see, that's where it can go for a man that doesn't like the term, period. Yeah. You know, he don't like it. But some guys will say, yes, I would love, and like my friend Ty said, no, he won't call his female that. But there are some guys that would say it, but they aren't really using it in a negative way, you know. So...
Okay, so L Dunlap 14 said, I'm ride or die in all relationships, i.e. friends and all.
That's what I was saying at the beginning.
But you just made a good point that some people would use it. So this is what my theory is, and I just came up with this, so bear with me.
I hope you talk to me.
That the guys that may be doing illegal activity, I don't know. Okay, they may call their girl ride or die, rightfully so. They're doing some things and she holding them down. But I think when girls use ride or die, they're using it, making us look bad.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what I was saying, because we wouldn't say ride or die.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't say I'm ride or die. I'll say, you know, I don't know what I would say.
Because when girls are saying that, they're wearing it as a badge of honor.
Right.
So things have went down where they should not still be riding, and they're saying they're ride or die.
Right. And if I did say it, I think it would really just be who I'm, like if I said that to Pierre Javon, girl, you know, because I'm ride or die. She know exactly what I mean. She know exactly what angle I'm coming from. But I wouldn't get in front of a group of people and say, I'm ride or die. Especially depending on how I'm presented, how I'm dressed. I might have on some sneakers. My locks might be in a bun. I might be looking rough that day. They might really be thinking like, yo, this girl really trying to die for this dude. Like, right. And that's not really always what it is. And we do have a comment about women and how they use the term ride or die. And she said, ride or die chicks can lose, ride or die, that term can make you lose control of yourself. Sometimes you ride or die too hard. In other terms, sometimes you're too loyal to a person that doesn't deserve it.
And L. Dunlap said he wouldn't use the term, but the definition I have just means loyal and being there, so it doesn't matter. And Miss K. Fife said, I think people use ride or die as all in. I haven't heard that since Eve was on the scene, though. Yeah, it is kind of like outdated, but at the same time, we could be considered in a world removed, you know. So it's a whole group of people that are friends on Facebook that probably use hashtag ride or die all the time. So.
And we got a whole bunch of comments, but my friend sent me this screenshot of something she seen on Instagram, and it's a picture of like a fake Bonnie and Clyde. They got on masks, they kissing each other. I'm trying to set the tone for y'all and so I can see.
I thought so. I seen that picture.
That might be her.
Yeah, I seen that picture.
Well, either way, the words on the face says, all you have to do is ride. A real man will put up his life before he ever lets you die.
Okay.
So then they take it and put a twist on it, like, because at the end of the day, the man should be down for the woman, technically speaking. Technically speaking, if somebody come up to me and they trying to kill me, I expect my man to take up for me. But I also expect it to be a cohesive event too. Like, I'm trying to help, he trying to help. But more so, you need to try to help me. Yeah. And hopefully we can get through this thing together. But at the end of the day, I like that.
Yeah, or ride or die could be, if you want to take it like more conventional. It could be like with if you married, you know, y'all
Yes.
going through things because
That's-
technically, you know, the woman is at the house holding down the household, so maybe it's some things going on. It's kind of like until death do us part, you know, ride or die.
And then I feel like, yes, the word I was just about to say, the word protection. I feel like when a person when a female uses the word ride or die, you aren't looking for the man for the protect. You saying you gonna protect him.
Ooh.
And it's like, no, that's not even your role, quote unquote. We talked about gender roles and stuff before too. If you want to get technical, your role isn't to be protection. Your role isn't to guard and shield that man. So then that's another way when women come into the picture trying to be the man, ride or die. Ain't no man running around saying he gonna be ride or die for me. Ain't no man gonna take no bid for me if something happen. I might have one of my homegirls take the rap before me before a man will.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Like he said, like you want somebody to call you out. Like, do I want somebody that's ride or die? First of all, it implies that I might be doing something, you know, that could cause death. Like, not saying like figuratively, saying it's implying that there will be bad things, and I'm asking you to stick by me with. So it's kind of like,
right, and it's like really. Real, the word is real, the phrase, not a word, it's real, it could be real sketch, like, for a lot of different reasons. So one of the comments, that I had on one of my pages, ride or die typically is a bad thing. Most people blindly follow someone through whatever situation due to the loyalty card being played. Not all occasions require you to relentlessly take up for someone who is obviously wrong. The phrase ride or die can be looked at from many ways. One, either you're with me or you're dead to me. Two, we're going to ride together and die together. Those aren't very good spaces to put your friends or partners in and question their integrity and loyalty. And I like what she said, either you're with me or you're dead to me. So it's like, you ride for me or you just dead type deal. Like, and that's real because, I mean, I don't really like when people say, they dead to me. I understand it, but that's also one of them phrases that can be real sketch because it's like dead to you. And death is so final. It's no looking back, no turning back. It's like you never know when you'll need somebody. You'll never know when you'll run back into somebody on any occasion about anything. So I just think we really need to watch the stuff we say, including ride or die chick.
I have a comment that says, why sink with the ship that you know is going down? Why not save yourself? Ride seeing all the signs of dying. Then when it hits the fan, all dudes get a bad name because you chose to die. Using the concept.
And that's real. Yeah. That's real. There's a lot of women that'll sit through and get dogged by a man and know the whole time. And when everybody else find out, it's like the man is such a bad person. But it's like the whole time she knew. And she kept coming back for me. So if I can have my cake and eat it too, what man wouldn't take that opportunity? Of course she'll ride or die. Riding with your mess and dying inside, like I said. And ain't nobody trying to die.
Okay, so the flip side.
With
the ride or die guy. So these are my thoughts on the ride or die guy, which I briefly said. I don't think it exists. In terms of how we say ride or die chick. Because we've talked about the double standard before. Guys ain't riding and dying. They not riding and dying through no BS. You know, we don't see, the reality shows don't show girls cheating on guys and the guys staying with them for 3 seasons. It's the other way around. So in the term of what a ride or die chick is, that's not the same with a dude. Now, in terms of life that I live, I still am a little skeptical on the ride or die dude because me and Martika say that all the time. But when we say it, we mean like guys, maybe with my dreams and me having a bad day, or, you know, it's just like, you ain't ride or die. Like, you know, because it's like, I would never do you the way you do me. So it's kind of like, I can't, and I have literally said that, you're not ride or die.
And it also goes...
Yes, that's how I feel.
Right, and it also goes into ride or die can be very emotional, attached thing. Guys aren't quick to show that emotion, show that learning care that they might really have. They're not real communicative about those type things all the time. So, like, I could text you and I'm having a bad day, and you just might say the wrong thing that make it even worse. But you, not, on your end, you really feel like you riding for me because, like, let me change the subject so she don't think about it. Yeah. But on our end, it's like, you don't even want to talk about what I'm trying to tell you. I'm having a bad day about. You didn't change the subject. So it's like both of y'all just come from different ends and it's different perspectives.
And Ladarius, to elaborate, I mean, like, ride or die in terms of...
You like, dang, you don't think I'm no ride or die?
I mean, like...
You are ride or die.
Right, yeah, you ride or die. But I mean, like, guys that sway with the wind, like... But okay, when we talk about goals, if I've expressed to you something that I want to do and like Chanel said, I'm having a bad day. Maybe I tried to do it and it didn't work out. And you just you're not talking to me as if you understand how important that is to me. And it makes my feelings feel less like you're not really caring about my aspirations and goals and feelings. So it's like, since women are more emotional, that that would be ride or die to a girl. Like, do you care?
And also, it could also be something that could be fixed though, because a lot of things we us ride or die girls, not me per se, but I'm just using the us term because I'm a female. Like, we get so ride or die in that we end up putting ourselves on the back burner. So it's like I'm just so focused on this man and making sure he good and everything straight that I done lost myself. You know, I don't have no control. I ain't expressing myself no more. Now I'm acting like the man because I'm trying to be ride or die, and I don't want to step on his toes. And I know as long as I don't step on his, he ain't gonna step on mine because he don't know how to be the man that I want him to be anyway.
Right. And ideally, both people should be ride or die for each other,
yes,
in terms that it's a mutual, beneficial, dependent relationship, and not one person trying to do all this and I'm going to just hold it down. And, it should be, everybody should be on the same page.
So another comment we got on Facebook from a guy, he said, interpretation is key. Ride or die to me is a term that can only be used if you vow yourself to something, be it marriage or just a common union. But you either are with the situation or you are not. I don't feel it's death when they say die. I feel like die means ending of that situation. Ride it out or get off the ride. I can see what that's saying too.
I can see
ride or die, basically saying
in a movie like, you ain't ride or die. Like, are you down or are you not?
Yeah,
like,
that's basically what it is. Like, it's not die for real. It's just like, what's up? You good or we not? Like, that's it. And that's true too, because I mean, the older that we get, it's like that question is real. Like, I mean, granted the connotation it may have, but it's real. It's like off real. Are you ride or die?
And that's what I'm saying about the dreams and aspects. Like, we're in a very vital age,
girl,
where we are crossing. If we're not already there, we're trying to get there. So if I meet you and you yourself have no dreams, or you not trying to act like you care about my dreams and how I'm pursuing them, you are not ride or die. Like, simple as.
Because the same 10 cent I give you need to be the same 10 cent you give me. Or even if it's 8, shoot, give me something. Don't come at me with no 2 cent.
Right.
I want more than 2 cent. I want more than 2 cent, baby. We had a nice little bit of comments. Another comment says, it depends on how you interpret it. I think of it like as someone to go through thick and thin with, the good and the bad and the ugly. Never left your side, no matter your circumstances, no matter the mood, whatever. Like the person you can call for whatever. Family deaths, breakups, anything. Some people think ride or die is like, let's go tear somebody's car up and fight. And I believe anybody that got you riding doing something that can have you dead or locked up isn't a ride or die. Also, people think ride or die means they stay bailing you out of trouble, whether money or whatever. Your ride or die should not always have their hand out abusing their role.
Ooh, don't
I understand that. Don't abuse the role. And that's why I said ride or die is so, it could be so different because I'm riding Pierre Javon, ride or die.
Till the wheels fall off.
Till the wheels fall off. And we both know exactly what that means. Like, I talk to this girl every single day.
She's the first person I talk to in the morning.
All day. Like, literally all day long while we at work. When we get home, we send it. Like, it's never a dull moment. And this is ride or die. And that also goes with a post I posted on Facebook. I shared it. It was like, maybe soulmates really are your girlfriends and guys are just the people that you mess with, because some relationships you have with people you can't ever have with a guy because it's not common. It's not possible either. It's just not real. So to have ride or die people like the girl that posted that, she said a ride or die ain't gonna have you doing nothing that's really literally killing you.
And that's what goes back to the point I was saying, depending on what world you're in. Because the first part of it, through like thick and thin, good and bad, that's kind of how I was talking about vows. Like if you married, it's like ups and downs. You're not trying to bail, basically.
Right.
And we got a comment that said, yeah, that's how I think of it. Like someone may be rich and on top of the world and lose it all, and the relationship doesn't change. Yeah, that's ride or die.
Yep. And one person said it depends on who the relationship was with, that it typically gets misinterpreted, meaning the women usually misinterpret the definition. Vicky Rose, she commented on our post. She used to be down with the team, so I'm gonna definitely read hers. She said, I don't think the term is always used with the most consideration. I think ride or die means you have the utmost loyalty to someone and you will go to the ends of the earth for them, which is all good and well for the right person. But many times in relationships, we try to be ride or die for someone who wouldn't give us a penny out of their pocket. Ride or die doesn't mean you have to be stupid. make sure you're riding or dying for the right person, and hopefully the right person is taking you down the path where you need to die anyway. Side eye laughing.
Yes, and that was back to, I didn't get to say what I really thought when somebody said don't abuse it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you know somebody, like, and I feel like I've had this in my life where I don't want to say ride or die, but I'm like,
yes,
cool, I'm an effort
to say
like,
it, right.
And you gonna abuse it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't abuse it, because then you gonna leave me jaded and
just
bitter.
as an abused animal. Abused animal is not calling you an animal, but just to say that, when you are abused, your guard is up so high, right. And it's like abused animals surely come to. They get that trust back. They love people again, but it's step-by-step process, and it's like you taking yourself through something that you don't even necessarily need to go through if you just already know who I am and who I could be potentially to you. Like, who wouldn't want?
And I think at the end of the day, between the connotation and just between there being better words in the English language, I don't want anybody to call me ride or die.
And one of our
unless
comments,
we joking and it's just
right, it's just good. One of our comments said that's a hood term for loyalty at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's other words we can use than ride or die.
Yeah. And if I am said to be that, you know what I'm saying, I get why it's being said, because I am a very I hold you down, friends. Whoever it is, if we bond like that, like, that's just what it is. Ain't nobody talking about you. Ain't ain't nothing. Because it is what it is, and it's always good when you about to die.
And I think that ride or die people, like, or how we talking about loyal people, they do tend to be that person in all instances. Mm-hmm. Like, now the girls that are the ride or die that we don't want to be, usually are only ride or die with
to the man. Yeah.
They don't have no friends that's been up and down. Mm-hmm. They done dropped the girl back in 8th grade, dropped the next one.
They don't even have no friends.
Right. They only ride down with the guys. And that's who you got to watch out for, because, one, that guy don't deserve for you to ride or die. And two, you need to do some self-examination on who you riding or dying and why you doing it, because you not right where you
and hopefully you ain't dead by the time you start trying to realize something. and not I mean inside internally. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you haven't died already. Hopefully you not too far going to where you can't come back. And I also believe that even if you ride or die all the way to the ends of the earth and it's the wrong way, it's still ways to bring yourself back. You know what I'm saying? It's never too late. I say that all the time. It's never too late.
Yes, Miss K5, she ride or die for fair game.
And yeah, you really do. I must admit, like, when we get popping, wherever our first big deal, like, you gonna have to get flown out with us,
and
like, because we got some other ones too.
When we do our live show, we know y'all gonna be there. America shot to hit us with the heart right then.
Right.
we on to you. We on to you.
We got a comment to speak to what Pierre Javon said as far as dreams and aspirations. I can relate to a relationship in which the guy had goals that he felt I didn't support. Because there was a difference of opinion, I feel as if he felt I wasn't a ride or die. Therefore, our relationship ended. I couldn't ride or die for someone or a goal that I didn't believe in. You only ride or die when you wholeheartedly believe in and trust in someone or something. Mm. Like y'all said, we getting too old to waste time riding or dying for something that we be on the fence about. Maybes ain't gonna cut it.
That's tricky.
That's real.
Because that's real tricky. And I can only hope that maybe there was some other things that was wrong other than just...
Mm-hmm. And that probably was just the icing.
Yeah, because we talked about before when you don't... your vision is your vision because it's yours. It's not up to everybody else to, see it. But at the same time, there is a common ground where I support you. I don't say anything negative, but I just don't get it. Mm-hmm. But I think that it would kind of depend, like, why. I totally agree.
And I was about to say,
it sounds really unfortunate.
It sounds very unfortunate, but it makes total sense. That's like, I can't possibly be with you if I can't support what you're doing. Like, and that's actually for the person that wrote me and said that you're a very mature being even to end a relationship, because it's very selfless of you to do. Because I'm sure you really like this person, and that's
I guess I'm thinking, like, is it a bad goal? Or
maybe it wasn't, but maybe
a bad idea.
Well, they're writing me back. I see the bubbles.
Okay, because I guess I could think, like, I know people in my family that might be doing something that I don't think makes any sense to me. And that doesn't mean I would give my opinion, but that doesn't mean.
But that's also not who you're trying to build with.
No, but I'm just saying. But I still feel that completely.
Yeah,
but that's why I'm saying I feel it on the side of, is it a bad idea?
Right.
Or is it just something where somebody say I'm about to invent a theme park and they're like, that's never gonna work. Like, is it just something that hasn't been done? Right. you know, I don't think that's what it is, but
yeah. But either way, I haven't been per se, you know, in that situation, but I can understand it, and I'm sure I know her, so I'm sure there were other things, but that was just something to be like, okay, and I don't even believe in him, like, and not even in a bad way that you don't believe in a person. But what if he has all these dreams and aspirations, but he ain't doing nothing?
Or he's had them for the last 5
right, and
years,
it's like, and you ain't did nothing about nothing. So it's like, you telling me that you wanted to do this since you was 5, but you ain't got nothing to put forward to.
And that's real life struggle, because sometimes what happens with people like that too is they have all this talk about what they can do, and then when you try to help them do it, and it gets the pressure of deadlines and questions and who, what, when, where, how, they get defensive, and then it's, you don't believe in me. But it's like, no, I'm trying to help you do more than you've done in the last 5 years.
Basically, she was saying the idea, the thing he wanted to do, it just didn't even make sense. Like,
I don't know.
She said y'all hit it right on the head. It just didn't even make sense for what he was trying to do. Like, it didn't make any sense. And she was just saying it was so many years, and like there was nothing to show. Like, it don't even make sense for you to still be talking about the same thing. Like, in 5 years, me and Pierre are not gonna be sitting on our laptop and iPad still talking about we trying to make sure Fair Game pop, because next year Fair Game gonna be popping. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you gotta have, and if one avenue don't work, switch. Switch. You have to learn how to maneuver. Hey, turn it over now. Are we talking about Ride or Die still? Yes. Yes.
But no, okay. She said can't make people seek purpose. But I mean, I think he had purpose. They just didn't see eye to eye. He just was blinded. You know. I don't know, but that's kind of interesting, because I do feel like maybe somebody else, I mean, he might meet somebody else that it pops off with, you know.
Well, he met somebody else, so.
No, I'm just saying that might be the time in his life when that pops off.
And that's also a thing to say about ride or dying, and you just don't see it happening for that person, so you do leave. But it's just like, for one, maybe that wasn't where you're supposed to be, so that's why it's dead to you. And because we all know, we talk about that all the time. Timing is everything. If it took, we talk about Tamar all the time. It took her umpteenth years to get what she was gonna be,
and now she
popping. She booked. She sick because she booked so much. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what if Vince met her back then and gave up on her now, you know, and then gave up on her back then, and now look at her, you know, it's just all.
So I mean, it could be a case where it's just simple as that they weren't the person for each other, and that just put it over the edge, or it could be. And like I said, it was a very mature. It's very mature when you realize you can't be that person's ride or die. Right, but then there's the other side of things, which is kind of more what I was hinting towards for like a guy. If it was a guy that left a girl, you know, I think I had posted one time. It was on my Time Pop this week. That there's two types of guys: the one that you standing across from at the altar, and the one that objects. Like, dude, you late, you know. So it's kind of like sometimes the people may not meant to be and go their separate ways, and sometimes I don't know. Yeah, it be like that, and it's just really like, at the end of the day, no matter what the negative connotation is. I think one of the real reasons for this was just to do self-evaluation on self. A lot of things we talk about, it may not be necessarily about us. You know what I'm saying? But it may be a time in our life or somebody we know or whatever. But it's really to do some self-recognition. Like, am I being the wrong ride or die to somebody? Like, am I still in this place of shame where I shouldn't even be at anymore? Do I need to hop on out the ride right now? Because the ride ain't even been making my stomach drop no more. And if a ride ain't making my stomach drop, it ain't no ride. Yes, Jasmine. Baby, please. Baby, please. Baby, please, Dwayne. Yes, Dwayne. Okay, so that's the wrap up? I think that's the wrap up. I mean, we had a long, in case you missed it, so it makes sense. Yeah. And I have the quote, I think. Yes, you do. You know, which I barely was ready, but I got it. And I wanted to write you today, like, you got the quote, but got a lot going on. This was something that we talked about in church. I know my quotes always come from church. And it was very simple, but it was protect your maturity. And he talked about if you've made progress in your life, don't let somebody else make you regress. And he was saying, you know, progress and maturity are synonymous. Like, when you make progress in a certain aspect of your life, you have matured in that aspect. You know, you're different than you were before. So if you used to have a temper and now you're able to not pop off with somebody, don't let somebody come in your space and now make you regress, and now you got an attitude and you cussing him out, you know, all this stuff. So it's like, protect your maturity, because it's in vain if not. You mature for no reason. And it is so amazing. It is just so amazing. No, for real, how God worked and how like, this quote is perfect, and I hope my friend is listening,
because it's perfect. When you mature in areas of your life, it's for the own well-being of self, first of all. And without maturity, there would be no test. It's no reason to get tested if you haven't been matured in the area. And she was tested today on something that she's been, I could say, healed from and matured from, you know what I'm saying? And it could have easily made her relax, like so easy. So easy. It could have easily made her do something that she would regret if she could have regretted, whatever the case may be. But she had a chance to look her in the mirror and see, like, girl, you really grew up. Because you know, when I was 15, I would have thought about this. I would have thought about this. But I'm 20 whatever today, and that thought of doing anything I would have did then didn't even come to my head. And it didn't even come to her head until I said something that I didn't even know it was an issue. I didn't even know it was a growth that she had. It was just something I said, like, how do a person know that you wouldn't do this or that you wouldn't do that? She was like, you know, the crazy thing is, and she told me about her growth and about her maturity, and it just, God is good. I mean, period.
I mean, you can't have a testimony without a test.
You can't.
Test is in the word. So if you're being tested, you already know there's a testimony coming. So once you get on the other side, testimony's guaranteed.
And that's just like when people say you can't pray for patience and don't think you're gonna get tested. How you gonna gain patience? How you gonna get the patience if you don't have things to test you to be patient with? Yeah. Gotta watch what you pray for.
And you gotta know that sometimes, my pastor always say, we pray for things on the slick, like things we know gonna happen, and then we act like we believe. Like he like, sometimes you go and you say you gonna buy something tomorrow, you're like, I just know God gonna make a way. But you get paid tomorrow.
Right. So like, duh, you already know.
And then when you get paid, you act like, yes, God did it. But it's like, no, you already know. Like, pray for something for real. Something that you really don't know, and, you know, watch it work.
Right.
But that's all for
that was good.
I survived with no sneezes.
It was great, and we was praying. We was praying that Pierre made it. But, yeah. Are we doing next week, or? Yeah, we're going, well, we need topics.
Yeah, we do.
But we need topics. If y'all want us to talk about anything, if it's something that we can't do an hour about, maybe it can be two things that can be combined. Whatever. We're open to ideas. We're open to hearing what people want us to say. Make us figure some stuff out.
And we forgot. Ask us some questions. And we forgot. In case you missed it, Harry, tell me on a $20 bill.
Oh dang, we did forget. It's a lot of uproar. Some people are mad. Some people happy. Hey,
and Ben Carson
is a joke.
But it was funny because they were saying, like, for years you've been people getting offended saying looking at a slave is just so, like, in the past or whatever. Like, well, we've been looking at slave owners. So,
right.
Like, this whole time they've been on a dollar bill. So if a slave person that escaped, they should give you a little bit more purpose when you spending it.
But either way, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Our Peep Game video is on Facebook. We ask that y'all share that. Continue to share our Facebook posts. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Follow us on Instagram at Fair Game Radio or at Drop Dread Gorgeous or at Miss P. Dot. We should change our names of what our show is, but that'll be another thing coming when we get popping like that. Branded. Because we'll be getting branded soon, but that's none of y'all business. Either way,
and
we
keep
hope
on
y'all
lookout for when we have our live event.
Because that's coming soon. That'll be this summer. Keep your calendars open because this is an event that you will not want to miss. Well heard, well known, well talked about. Y'all might want to get it together. Fair Game coming at you live. I'm Nelly P.
I'm Pierre Javon.
This is Fair Game.
Life's not fair.
But we are.
But oops.